Inclusion Indicators report shows for the first time what the European way of life means for 20 million people with intellectual disabilities and their families. The report covers 7 topics: right to decide and right to vote, right to live independently and be included in the community, housing and support, education, employment, healthcare, and representation. All of the indicators reflect lived experiences and challenges faced by people with intellectual disabilities and their families across Europe. In Europe, 8 countries limit voting rights for people with intellectual disabilities under guardianship: Belgium, Hungary, Malta, Portugal, Lithuania, Czechia, Romania, and Denmark, and 4 countries grant no voting rights for people with intellectual disabilities under guardianship: Estonia, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Poland. The research found that in 26 countries, a person's legal capacity can be removed, which means they cannot decide about their own money, where they live, or who to marry. 750,000 people with intellectual disabilities are confined to harmful segregated institutions with inadequate support for independent living. In 21 countries, adults with intellectual disabilities often have no choice but to live with their families, who have to be full-time caregivers instead of just parents or siblings. 1.1 million children with intellectual disabilities attend mainstream schools, fostering inclusion and skill development. Still, 700,000 are in special schools, deprived of the positive effects of inclusive schooling, and 20,000 children with intellectual disabilities are getting no education at all. Employment remains a challenge, with less than 10% of individuals with intellectual disabilities holding paid jobs. In 17 countries, people with intellectual disabilities risk losing disability benefits when they earn their salary. People with intellectual disabilities deserve equal access to healthcare and equal treatment. In 27 countries, the majority of people with intellectual disabilities have access to general healthcare. However, 24 countries do not have easy-to-read information on healthcare available. It is extremely important that people with intellectual disabilities are represented and visible in civil society organizations, in political parties, and in the disability movement. In 26 countries, people with intellectual disabilities are represented in a national cross-disability organization. Closing the disability data gap is crucial. Governments need to understand the challenges faced by people with intellectual disabilities so they can make positive changes. Let's work together to ensure that the rights of individuals with intellectual disabilities are respected across Europe, always and everywhere.